Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how the ability to pay attention is important in business and life. Today, if you observe people, if you go to a restaurant, you look around, what do you see going on? Well, there's obviously people eating, but very often you will see people looking at their phones. They are with other people around them, and yet virtually their consciousness is somewhere else, either dealing with social media or emails or whatever it may be. But the problem is, people take this, which isn't good for your relationships with other people in the first place, but they take this into business and wonder why they get bad results. I've seen people at business meetings who keep looking down at their phone, checking their phone every few seconds, or worse, they even have it going off, interrupting the meeting. And they seem oblivious to how not only is that rude and inconsiderate, it is distracting to the meeting, and it is not going to make the people who are either presenting something to you or discussing a business plan with you or whatever it may be that you're actually there for, it's not going to make them trust you and have them have a favorable opinion of you. Now, some people, I've actually heard people say, well, I'm always busy and I'm doing stuff, and so they know I'm a go-getter. No. See, that's what poverty mentality tells people. If they're constantly answering emails and dealing with this problem over here and this in their business, that somehow means they're a go-getter and they're doing stuff and they're getting stuff done and they're grinding and all this nonsense that people talk about. And yet, what it really shows is you do not have the management skills and the discipline to have your business ordered and structured in such a way where you don't have to deal with all that stuff. Yes, you should constantly be going from activity to activity and have things to do. But when your activities rule you and they draw you away from the current activity you're doing, you're out of control. And that does not send an indication to other people that this is somebody who is successful and busy and active and is a go-getter. It says this is a person who is disorganized, sloppy, and can't control their business and is being controlled by their business. But also in life, when you're with someone else, and obviously there's some variations where if you're working and somebody comes and starts talking to you, maybe you continue your work a little bit. But obviously, if you can, and they're not distracting you, taking you away from something you got to do, then you can just give them your attention for that short period of time. And when you're directly face-to-face with people, you should either have your cell phone off or muted or whatever the case may be. Or even if it's going off, you are just paying attention to them. You're focused on them. This is very important because people recognize this. Even if they themselves are getting distracted, they recognize somebody who is paying attention to them and is focused on them. And this is a trait that is gone by the wayside. This is an actual important character trait that very few people have today. And unfortunately, many people growing up in today's age, they do not have basic social skills to even understand this. So if you're a young person growing up and you actually are considerate and focus on people when you're talking to them, you don't just get into staring at your phone or whatever or getting distracted, you're going to make a big impression on people because that is so different. And it's not just young people. I'm not saying that. There's older people who are just, they're talking about their social media and they're all distracted as well. This is a common trait among all ages and groups, but it's more so because there was, in the older groups, they didn't have, obviously, cell phones and things to be distracted with, so they already had years and years and years of practice of focusing on people and giving attention to people when you're talking to them. And if you grew up with these things, and you grew up being distracted, and unfortunately for many people, your parents taught you this. It's not your fault. It's not something you chose. Whenever you were trying to do an activity or something as a child, they set you in front of a TV or in front of a computer or gave you a tablet and got you distracted. They taught you to be distracted instead of being productive. So this is something you have to consciously make an effort for, and that's perfectly fine. Just think, when you're with someone else, I'm giving my focus to them. I'm focusing, I'm paying attention to them, I'm seeing the goodness of God in them, and I'm looking to them and focused on what they're saying, and I'm going to be diligent about that. Don't let yourself get distracted. And if you will do that, that will absolutely help you in your relationships and your business life, because it is not common today. And it will set you apart as someone of character and substance when everybody else is doing these lemming activities, so to speak. And this is something very important in business and in life in general. When you see how most people do things, that's probably not the right way. It might be the accepted way, but it probably is not the best way to do something. Now, there may be some things that obviously are the best way that everybody does. That's just a cultural norm, and it actually is right, and that's fine. But it's more often than not, you can find an area in that activity that most people aren't doing it this way, and the way that you're thinking about doing it is actually the better way. And when you can focus on people and operate in love and have that Christ mentality of focusing on them and being moved with compassion, and you're not getting distracted by the cares of this world, that's going to make you stand out and be someone very different, very unique, and very desirable. If someone's in business, they're going to want to do business with you because they see you have your life under control. You're not being controlled by social media. You're not being controlled by emails. You're not being controlled by vendors or whoever, customers. You're in control. And you're a person of character and substance that when you're with someone else, your focus is on them. Now, some of this is basic common etiquette, how you act, how you behave. And this is not taught today. I know when I was growing up, I wasn't taught etiquette. I wasn't taught how to interact. I wasn't taught when you're at a business meeting how you act. I wasn't taught at a social meeting how you eat your food. All these things, I was taught some little things like don't put your elbows on the table and stuff like that. But overall, there just wasn't much of that out there. And today it's even less. Schools basically have become glorified daycare centers, and these important things aren't being taught. Part of that is because the schooling was never intended for that in the first place. It was intended to create workers. But that's not you. You're not just someone to become another number and be like everyone else. This is why these things are so important. And if you have an issue with being distracted a lot, then maybe give up your phone for a day. Give it up for 2 days. Give it up for a week. Whatever it may be. That could be very beneficial for you to show you just how it wasn't important. You weren't missing out on some big breaking news or something you really need to know about your business. It really was just trivialities of life that wasted your time. Now, one thing you can do is schedule a time to do those things. So if it's social media, and many people have to post on social media, they post their products or whatever it may be. So you have to, it's a necessary thing you have to do, but you don't have to do it all the time, all day long, and constantly, every time there's a ding on your phone, a notification, you're constantly, instantly rushing to it at just bowing the knee and being at its command and doing whatever that notification commands. You can schedule, maybe just schedule twice a day that you handle your emails and your social media and whatever it may be. If you are just posting things and you don't necessarily need to be on there reading stuff and wasting time that way, you can get simple solutions to have your postings scheduled. So you can schedule them in advance. You can set 1 day a week and just schedule all your postings for the week, do them all right then and there, and then you're done. You do not have to be ruled by these things. These things are here to serve you and to help you, not for you to serve and help them. And unfortunately, many people have that backwards. So my encouragement to you today is to really stop and focus on people when you're with them, when you're acting with them, even if it's business, if it's a friend, wherever it is, even if it's a store and you're with the cashier and you're checking out in line, that you give them your focus and your attention and you're kind and polite to them, because that's very different than most people. And if you continue to do that, you'll become more of a person of character who is in control of their own lives, who rules their own life and is not ruled by social media and emails and business and all these things distracting them. Now, my friend, I also want to encourage you, if you're in business and you're wanting to even grow in success, and even if you're not in business, this helps in all areas of life. I made a journal and planner combo called the Success and Prosperity Journal and Planner. It absolutely will help you if you'll take it and use it every day. It only takes a few minutes a day. You'll write your dreams, you'll write your goals, you'll write what you're actually going to do for the day, you'll write what you actually do during the day. You'll write some motivational thoughts and scripture verses and things like that. But if you'll do this, you will see a massive improvement in your life and in your success. It seems very simplistic, but literally writing stuff down, not on your tablet, not on a computer, but you physically writing this stuff down tangibly works to get you better results. You will absolutely notice better results, sometimes even from day one. And you just keep at it, it will absolutely help you. So I'm going to put a link in the description to that. It'll be a blessing for you. Get it today and be blessed and start working yourself to success and prosperity. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.